Hi, welcome to SMAC's online video tutorials. So in this tutorial we're going to talk about the new updates to the one-page scroll system, and namely the option to have an image in the background or a slideshow in the background, but to simply place a text box over the top which can contain anything. Contain images, buttons. It serves as a beautiful canvas. So the two areas that have been updated are the layout options and the height. This stays the same. So the difference now we have, before we had a strip with a image, but we couldn't put anything over the top of that image. It was just a strip. It had an image. It was pleasant to see. But now we've got a container over the top of that image, and that container is built with our drag and drop editor. Whatever you put in here will be put over the top of whatever you have in the background. So let's have a look now and see what we're talking about. So we've got a thin strip. There's our home page. We set a height on here, and we've got our text in here, and we've got our next layer. We've got the parallax scrolling, so we can see it moving a little bit now, the text in the background. Our layer underneath that has a green. So that's quite nice. We've got auto, so the height is fitting to whatever we have in our container. We can also set a height, preset the height, let's say 400, and refresh. And now the height is at 400. We can also set 100% visible area, so the strip will fill whatever area it has on the page. So we'll look at that. So now we can see the strip, and as soon as we scroll up, we've got our next layer. There's a bit of a tweak with the visible area, and what we have to do is to set a small offset. If you find that there's an awful lot of image that's still not being visible, then we can set a different height in here, main text height. I'll show you that in another example later. What it does is it just gives a little bit more height or a bit less height to the strip. So that's working quite well. So let's see our options now. Let's go back to our pages. And now the difference is we're going to add a slideshow. So instead of having a static background, we're going to have a slideshow. To do that, we need to select the slideshow in here. And what this will do now is this entry in here, it's saying text over image gallery, not text over background image. That's the difference. So we've uploaded some images previously, so now we'll use these. If we were to have this new system, it's quite complicated to have text over a animated background, and the way CSS does that, it changes the background image of this container rather than the image. So we have a perfect solution to this, which is called Vegas, and this plugin has been going around for years and is awesome. And this allows us to not only have the background image, but it allows us to have the background image with an overlay, transparent overlays. So it highlights the text even more on top of this background. But the difference between this Vegas, normally Vegas would fill the whole 100% width, 100% height. We can apply this to a strip. At the moment we can only apply to one strip, so we can't apply to multiple strips, it's just one on a page. But normally that's enough. Normally you're going to have the first strip of a web page is going to be your animated images. And we've chosen landscape to reformat the image as landscape, which works quite well. So let's have a look and see what happens. We have to refresh, and now we've got an overlay of dots. We've got an animated background that uses effects that we've chosen as well, and we've got our full 100% height. It fills the available height on the page, and the next container pops in. We haven't calculated that, it's all automatic. So what we've done with this is, you can see we've got our background image on a strip. We've got text that's centered, we've got a button that we can press, and we've got a really lovely looking site. And the joy with using the Vegas plugin for the home page, normally when we have a slideshow and we get onto a mobile viewport, the slideshow really reduces, gets very, very small indeed. But on this one we can go even smaller. Let's have a look. Let me try that again. Yeah, that's fine. So we can see we're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Yet we got a lovely centered gallery. That's exactly what it's going to look like on a mobile. So the height and the viewport is taken into consideration. Yet on a PC, personal computer, it's perfect. So what other additional things can you do? Well, it's so powerful, this system. We can set the height if we wish, and let's set the height. We can see now we've got our height that's set, and you can see that there's a little bit of spacing here, and the reason for that is in our text we've got some space here, and this text, whatever we enter here, will override the container. These are just containers, so in this container here, if we've had the text centered, it will be centered. If it's left adjusted, it will be left adjusted in here, but centered on the page. And again on here it will be centered. So this is really more of a horizontal, a vertical control, than saying whatever text we entered in here will be left adjusted. And we must always make sure that when we have galleries on the one-page scroll system, that our background color here is transparent. If the background color is white, let's put it white, we're not going to see anything, because this governs the top layer. So let's have a look at that. We refresh, and let's put a we'll put a color over the top of that now. and you can see that we have that colour to start with there, and then it then fades in quite nicely with the image. So you can see that the image needs to be, you can see now we've got that redness over the top, and we can have green now over the top, let's say a bit more. There, that's quite nice. So we've got an overlay over the top. On the gallery side of things, the gallery is starting there. We'll just try something here. I'm just going to delete the background image on that. So that's quite nice. If you delete the background image, we have a colour overlay on the slideshow. So you can see that you've got so many options here that you could spend hours working on this. But here, that's really nice. So we've got a slideshow, we've got the colour overlay on the slideshow, we've now got maximum height on the slideshow, and we'll take the slideshow back down, and there you go. We hope you liked the video and learned something. Thank you very much for watching.